They grew up in the wake of 9/11, a social media explosion, and extracurricular activities that kept them busier than ever. Now, they're experiencing COVID-19 like the rest of us. I'm Dr. Deborah Tillman, and each week I'll be talking to a teen about how they're responding to life. This is Teens in Conversation. Meet Helen, the compassionate high school junior from Alexandria, Virginia, who's making the most of her time by reaching out to help others during COVID-19. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Teens in Conversation. I'm so excited to introduce you to a wonderful teen from T.C. Williams High School. Her name is Helen, and hello, Helen. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. So I don't know what room you're in, but it looks really business-like. That's so nice.
My mom's
Wow.
office.
Nice. How have you been since COVID-19 started? Tell us all a little bit about yourself and how things have adjusted for you.
Yeah, so I'm a junior in high school, and it's definitely been a little bit of an adjustment trying to kind of navigate around what the school system's been putting out or deciding and changing every 5 minutes. But yeah, so it's definitely been a bit of an adjustment, but I'm trying to make a schedule for myself and try to create some sense of normalcy that I can relay on to everyday life. And yeah, I've definitely been trying to
Nice.
keep up with friends every day just to have somebody to talk to and then just kind of continue to connect with people.
Tell me a little bit about, you said a schedule. What does your schedule look like? Because I think that'll help other youth your age to have a schedule. You know, a lot of people have been saying that they're on Netflix, they don't know what else to do. So what does your schedule look like?
Yeah, so I try and kind of navigate my schedule around depending on what classes I have that specific day. So on the day when I have the most classes, I try to wake up between like 9 and 9:30. And normally during the school year, I'm not very good at getting enough sleep. But now, since we have the time, I've been trying to get the same amount of sleep every night, which is definitely good for your health. And I find it's a lot better for stress and anxiety. So I try to wake up around 9 to 9:30, and then I have a class on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30. So I try to get some homework done before then and just eat a good breakfast. So then I have class, and then I try to take a nice break after that. And then I have another class later in the afternoon. But I think it's important to allow yourself to have break times because there's no way you're going to just keep going the whole day without needing that, or you're just going to end up hitting a wall and procrastinating for 2 hours on Netflix, and then you'll get out of it and be really confused why you have nothing done.
Exactly. What courses are you taking?
So the only classes that I have right now, only teachers that are doing classes are my AP US history class and then my AP calculus class.
History and calculus. Okay. And the teachers, are they excited to be doing Zoom with you all? Or
I think it's harder. My APUSH teacher has definitely been very supportive with everyone. She texts everyone through Remind, and definitely has been very good about keeping in touch with everyone. So I think she likes the opportunity to get to talk to her students. And my AP Calc teacher is definitely glad she can talk to us because it's like seeing everyone again is very exciting.
Oh, I know. And your friends, like when it happened, you didn't get to see your friends, did you? Like,
So
okay.
I the day that we found out was our last day of school. I wasn't allowed to see anybody, so I've been quarantined since I think March 13th.
Oh my goodness.
So I haven't gone out since then.
Wow. So not even, wait, you go to the store.
Well, I haven't actually been to the store. So my mom and my brother went to the grocery store.
Wow.
So I've been in the car places. I went to throw away glass bottles the other weekend, but that's the most I've really been out besides just walking around or walking my
Nice.
dog.
So you walk around with the dog. You have a dog. What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Maru. She's a golden retriever. She's
I
a
love.
definitely, I think it's a really nice time to have pets. I see a
Mhm.
lot of people are trying to adopt animals or trying to do something just because it's a good way to distract yourself.
Right. So, what do you think some of your friends, I know you talk to your friends, what are some of your friends going through right now? Or what are you going through right now or have gone through during this in terms of emotional and mental?
I think I think it's really hard just to really absorb everything that's happening in the world. And I personally, I have some days where I end up looking at a lot of media or looking at a lot of news sources, and you're just overwhelmed with everything that's happening or seeing the number of people dying or the number of people that are being diagnosed every day. And I think it's definitely hard. And I know for a lot of people, they tend to compare themselves or their suffering to others. So that point of like comparative suffering and everyone is saying, well, why am I sad? Why am I sitting here lonely when there are people who don't have the same opportunities, might not even be able to put food on the table. So I think
Right.
that's definitely been hard for people too, because it's hard not to be overwhelmed by your own feelings, but also trying to understand others' feelings as well. And I
Right.
also think for people who are juniors in high school, this is definitely really hard because this is the most important year of school because they look at it the most. And I think a lot of people are worried about college applications and admissions and what's going to happen or how it's going to affect their GPAs. And I've talked to a lot of my friends who are also juniors, and they're definitely really worried about that because nobody knows what's going to happen
Right.
with admissions in this next year.
Wow. And imagine seniors too, right? They're missing
Yeah.
out on a whole bunch of activities.
Yeah, my friends who are seniors are really upset, and I think it's hard to not get that sense of gratification like you've completed something because your senior year, that entire year is like you're climbing up to this point, and then all of a sudden there's nothing there, and then you just kind of feel
Right.
they feel very empty. I know a lot of people are feeling very empty.
Yeah. How would you help someone who's feeling empty right now? What would you tell them?
I think it's just important to know that the best thing that you can do right now is kind of figure out the best thing for you, and whether that's exercising or just doing something that you love or talking to people that you love or even just sitting down and watching binge watching a TV show if that's going to be what calms you down. I think the best thing you can do is listen to yourself and what you need. Because I think there's a lot of pressure from outside media to start a new thing or start a new project, or you have to do 15 things to set yourself up for what's going to happen when quarantine's over. But I think it's important to know that you don't have to become someone new during this time, and you can kind of just stick to what makes you happy. And I also think talking about what you're going through is something that everyone should do.
Talking about it, you said?
Yeah, talking about it. So if that's a parent or a teacher or a friend, I think just being able to express the way that you're feeling is I think a lot of times people, especially teenagers, like to bottle things up.
Oh, yes.
A lot of people are able to release that through activities that like sports or other things that we don't have right now. So I
Right.
think it's really important just to like stay in tune with your body as well.
Good. So, who do you live with? You're with mom and you have siblings or
Yeah,
no?
so yeah, I'm with my mom and
Okay.
my brother.
Your mom, how old is your brother?
My brother he just turned 20.
Okay. And your dad is
My
where?
dad lives in Baltimore, so I've been going up to see him, I think, like once every few weeks
Okay.
because his wife is also pregnant. So we have like a whole pod of trying to keep her safe and also just trying to keep all of us out of contact.
Okay. So your mom and dad not together.
Mhm.
So when did they split? How old were you?
I think I was in, I think it was fifth grade, end of fifth grade. So I think I was probably, I can't remember what age that would be, maybe like 9.
Okay, so you were a lot younger.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was a lot younger.
Helen, if you could talk to any other youth that is living just with their mom or maybe just with their dad because the parents divorced, tell me how you got through that. And I know it's taken some time because I'm a product of the same. Give them some steps or something that they can do to get them through that difficult time, particularly if it's happening now. Could you imagine?
I could
Yeah.
not imagine that. I think for me, for a really long time, it was difficult because I didn't really have that many friends who had gone through the same thing. So it was hard to find somebody that I could relate to. And I was so young that nobody ever expected me to go and talk to a therapist or go and speak to a professional. So I just tried to talk to my friends about it. And I think in a way, I kind of turned that I kind of repressed a lot of emotions for a really long time because I was so young. I didn't really know how to release that.
Right.
But I think I kind of turned some of those feelings into my passion for helping other people and just supporting other people, which is great. But also at the same time, sometimes when you're too focused on other people, you then don't focus on yourself until you really need to.
Right. That's right. Until you crash.
So I did crash. I will say that I crashed. It was probably 2 years ago, but I still had a moment where I crashed.
Tell us about that moment.
I think it was just a lot of not really speaking to my parents about how I was feeling and not being able to really release any of the anger or sadness that I felt for a really long time.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of that bottled up into anxiety and um, I don't know. It's just one of those moments where I just felt really lost and I had no idea what to do. And then I had an amazing brother who I always felt like I had to live up to. But I think that was me finding my own path that was separate of my parents' story and separate of my brother's. So I think that's really important just to know that you can separate yourself from your parents. And also, I think it's important to know that you aren't your parents and that's not necessarily going to be your story. Like just because that failed for you, it doesn't mean that you're never going to find love or you're never going to find something like that.
I love that. I think that is so important because I know that mostly every child is like in the mirror of their parents. And oftentimes parents make the mistake of, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer. I grew up with that baggage on me, like, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a lawyer. So that I thought in my head I wanted to be a lawyer, but really I never wanted to be a lawyer. And so I think that's so mature of you to tell us that, yeah, you are your own unique individual with your own gifts, talents, and abilities and greatness inside of you, but you just have to find it. And that's the difficult part sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that now is definitely a good time. My piece of advice to my friends who are stressed out because their programs over the summer got canceled or they don't know what to do to kind of set themselves apart. But I think this is not even for college, but just for yourself is to find what you're passionate about. And
Mhm.
because now we have so many opportunities and so many resources to go on your phones or go on your computers and just kind of search for what you think that you can do, whether that's for somebody else or whether that's something for yourself, if that's art or writing or I don't know, just kind of find something that you're passionate about so you can fill your time with that.
What's your passion? Give us two of your
Two of
passions.
my passions. So I work with an organization called Girl Up. And what that is focused around is empowering young girls around the world to kind of fulfill their opportunities and to also create opportunities for them to go to school and to really be able to break that gender barrier. So I'm really passionate about education. So that's definitely
Mhm.
something both at home and abroad. And I'm also passionate about writing. So I love to write. And I'm hoping that I can write more during this time, maybe somehow find a way to make a blog. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I might try.
All right. Well, never know unless you try, right? What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite book what are you reading now?
I'm actually reading a book called book written by Bell Hooks. It's about self-love, and I just finished a book for school, so I wanted to kind of switch it up and do a different kind of book.
Good.
But yeah, so I definitely recommend just reading, because that's always a good thing to do, and also you can find something geared towards what you like.
Good escape too.
And a good break from Netflix.
Oh yeah. Have you been watching Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Tell me, what have you been watching? Tell us.
So I watched all of a series called All American. I'm sure everyone.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Watch All American. That was good. Amen. I agree.
It was a good one.
All right. I am going to end with a lightning round. You ready?
Hey.
All right. So, for Helen, love is
Happiness.
the world needs
Positivity.
Oh God, yes. before before COVID-19, I was blank. Now I am blank.
Stressed. Now I am curious.
Okay. My favorite quote is.
Oh goodness. My favorite quote. Well, my favorite poem is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. So definitely a section from in there.
Okay, we'll take it. The greatest thing I can do for myself is.
Love myself.
Wow. That is the greatest thing you can do for yourself, Helen. That is. And really for everybody, all of us, young and old, that's the greatest thing we can do for ourselves is to love ourselves, because when we love ourselves, we can love other people, right?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Wow. If there were one thing that you could say to the world right now, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic, what would it be?
I think just to take time to appreciate what you have, whether that was before COVID-19 or whether that's what you have currently. I think there's a lot of things that we take for granted and a lot of people that we take for granted. So my best advice is just to surround yourself with the people that make you want to become a better person, that challenge you. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much for joining me on today. See? Harmless, right? And you keep being you, because you know there's seeds there. I see it. Okay, bring them out, Helen.
Thank you.
Take care, okay? All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All righty. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Wow. Look at Helen. All right. I loved this conversation because she talked a little bit about anxiety and stress. And so with our young people, because I deal with parents, I talk to parents, I try to encourage parents. But sometimes we as parents don't see the other side. We don't see the 16-year-old self. We don't see the 18-year-old self. And even though they're not, most of them not paying bills, they don't have to worry about a job, going to work every day, basically. They don't have to worry about some of the things that we have to worry about, but they still have pressures on them that take them to dark places as well. So I would just encourage all of the parents out there, as well as the teens, to each of us understand the other. So parents understand where your child might be coming from or going through. And then children understand that when your parents are sharp with you or have a little bit of an attitude, that they're going through a lot of things as well. And I think Helen has showed us that, it's really just about love, loving ourselves first so that we can love others. All right, leave a comment below. Please tell us how you love Helen, because I certainly did. I love the conversation. And I'll see you next time on Teens in Conversation.